So as I'm doing it, you want to fill them like to the top.
Okay.
Don't have them overflow too much.
Okay.
And then if you have, too much, to scoop it out a little bit with a spoon and throw this back.
Okay.
Or if one is less, then you can, put it in there.
Okay.
And I also like to push the insides to the edges of the, the cupcake liners.
Okay.
And so, yeah, get it in evenly. So you want to take great care with them so that they can look beautiful when they are finished. They're going to taste great regardless.
Presentation is everything, right?
It's like delivery, You can have some of the best rhymes, but you don't know how to rap them right. It's like, what is he talking about?
Right.
Can't get, and then also, it's just like, you may have, the preparation is great. This is like the content of the lyrics, and this is like the delivery.
Okay.
And so, you've seen some folks that may have great deliveries with bad content.
Right.
Or great content with bad delivery, or poor delivery, we'll just say that. And so I like to really specialize in both because, flow, delivery is universal. If it looks great, if it sounds great, people can get with it. I remember the first time I heard Twister flow, it sounded like a machine gun, But coming from a human voice, it was captivating. But then when I listened closer and I saw the content, it was like, oh, he's actually saying things and he's articulating, everything he says. And so I actually write for flow first and, content second. So that's big for me. Now, if this happens, this is going to happen, right? So if it get on the side, you can just like scoop it in and it'll be all right.
Okay.
Gabby.
So what did you take? I mean, how did the meeting with Outkast, what did you take from that? Aside from the fact that you met, like you said, you met a group that you really admire and that you look up to, but just the way that they open, the open arms and all that. What did you take from that? How did that help you as an artist give back? Because I know you do that a lot. I see that and I love that
thanks.
about you. You don't mind helping out, someone else, another artist. So did that kind of come from that interaction as well?
That definitely contributed to it, moving forward. I've always been taught from what I call my OGs from the Chicago poetry scene and the hip hop scene as far as like giving back. It's not just about you. And that's why, I started doing a monthly open mic because it's not just like feature me, feature me, feature me. It's like, well, let me create a platform so I can put other artists on and kind of bring them up, similar to like how you doing a platform to showcase talent and art. And so it's a beautiful thing. But to really answer your question, it was great. I think it was very divine, how that came about because you can meet somebody that looks great, but if their energy isn't right, you just can't really vibe with them. And I think that my energy was in the right place so that when I did meet them, I had an impact like that. Because, I remember Lo was saying, he said, yo, Dre doesn't invite anybody to his house, so he must have felt some type of positive energy from you to even want to invite you to his house. Like, that's like a one in a million, type situation.
Right.
And then when I was on tour with Big Boy and Killer Mike, the cool thing was that even with little things like with sound check or like when the food came, it wasn't like, all right, you an opener, you got to wait till everybody else eat. It was like, no, like we all eating in here, we're all men. It wasn't no sunning, so to speak, going on. There weren't really any egos. And so it was really positive, man. And then every now and then I got some gems, from Killer Mike and from Big Boy, as well as Andre when I met him. And one of the biggest things that stuck with me is he said, I don't feel like I'm one of the best rappers. And I said, how don't you think that? He said, because every day I wake up and I try to be the best me that I can be. And he said, as long as I do that, I can go to sleep at night. And it's true, because if you're competing with someone else, let's say, for example, if your race is the 100-meter dash, and you see this other sister, I like to use visual aids, right?
Okay.
So this you, right? This you right here.
That's me.
Right, you running the 100-meter dash.
And I did. I ran in high school. I used to run 100. 200, 100.
Flyers? You was a flyer?
Yeah, I tried.
Okay.
I tried.
All right. So you running the 100-meter dash, right? In the middle of your race, you see somebody over here. And so, little do you know, they're running the 50. So they may go a little bit faster than you because they have to pace themselves a little bit faster. And so, when you start racing them, you get to the 50-meter dash mark, you stop. You don't even finish your own personal race. Yeah. And so, we can get caught up in that a lot. I don't see myself in competition with anybody. They just don't do what I do, and I don't do what they do. And once I really understood that, your personal best, I get doing your personal best is operating with a spirit of excellence. Don't ask why not. Don't say like, man, should we really like do this shot over again? Like, yes, we should, because it should look great. You know, if you have all these, it's like, you know, singers in the studio, you know, you have melodyne, you have different pitch corrections just so that the finished product can look as great as possible. If you have all of these tools and you didn't use it to your advantage, shame on you.
Right,
you know,
right.
you have all of these opportunities and things like that. You know, some people make quote unquote $1 out of 15 cents. They make ends meet. They do what they have to do. But when you have everything, you know, you might as well use it to your advantage. And so operating with a spirit of excellence to me is doing your best, making sure my rhyme is iller than the one I just did. And so when other people see it, they're like, oh, it's great. And I'm just like, thanks. I'm humbled. I'm just an instrument, you know?
Right.
That's all I am. God writes these pieces, you know? Sometimes I don't even remember me writing it down. I just know I started and then I finished and it was done.
I like that. Well, do we need to put this, before we continue, do we need to put this in the oven? Or
Yeah, we're going to put this in the oven, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We already preheated it, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
We'll
You can
put
put
that
some
in
more
there.
on this.
Oh yeah, how did I do, by the way?
Oh, you did. You did
okay.
all right. You did all right. Very smooth. Very smooth.
Okay.
So you put a little, let it a little bit more generous. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that, you know.
So while you're leveling everything out and putting it in the oven, what's like one of your biggest pet peeves when you see budding entrepreneurs, whether it's in any of the fields that you're in or just overall? What is one of your biggest pet peeves that you think that, you know, budding entrepreneurs where they're slacking at? And you want?
I would say customer service. A lot of times, you might see someone. You might see someone. I don't know, like. One time I ordered a T-shirt, for example, from this company. I won't say the name. But someone I look up to, and you know, got the T-shirt, wore it one time, put it in the washer, in the dryer, came out, and the letters were peeling off.
Okay. I
was like, oh man. And so instead of, you know, posting it like publicly on Instagram, like I bought a shirt from such and such, I politely sent them a DM, like, and an email as well. Like I'm big on that. Like if I have like 3 different points of contact, I'll send them all at once. Like my friends know that. They be like, he just texts all of us the same thing. And anyhow, so I emailed him like, yo, peace. Bought one of your products and I washed it and it peeled off. And I'm upset because I would like to represent your brand, but I can't really do it because it peeled off, you know. And so it took them in a couple like 3 months to get back to me. And so I didn't like really appreciate that. So I would say that's one thing, but also spreading yourself too thin and splitting your traffic. That's one thing I learned. I met a sister in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest, and she does social media strategy and analysis. And she was like, you know, I used to say when I put out a new project, it'd be like, well, you can get it on iTunes, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, here, and here. And she's like, but the fact of the matter is you're splitting your traffic instead of telling them to go to one place. Oh, okay. If you tell them, like, you can watch this on my website or on YouTube, send them one way or the other, only to one place. Because what happens is you might have 50 listeners on SoundCloud and 100 on YouTube and 30 on Bandcamp, and you're looking at it like nobody's listening. But if you just seen one that said, you know, 500 or that number together, you feel a little bit more confident, like, okay, you know, it's like my friend calls me Mr. Analogy because I do this all the time. I was like, but that's just like, you know, you have a house, beautiful house, and you're telling people you can come to the party, but you can only come in the side window. That way you can count everyone versus leaving all the doors open. You're like, I don't know who's here. Right. But if you leave one door open, you know where they came through, and you can regulate everything accordingly. So if something happens, I don't know, something happened with the coding and the site was messed up, like, oh, wait, let me fix it. And you only got to fix one thing versus 4 different ones. Okay. You know? Makes sense. Well, how long do we leave that in the oven? We're going to leave it in about 21 minutes. About 21 minutes? About 21 minutes, yeah. Okay, well, while we're waiting for that to cook, we're not going to spend the whole 21 minutes with this like waiting, but we're going to let it bake for a few minutes. Okay. We're going to keep talking. Cool. And then we're going to show them the final product. Right. But one of the last things that I want to ask you before we get our dessert, we get to dessert. Yeah. What do you have coming up? What are you currently doing? Kind of just let everyone know what's going on with you. Okay, well, right now I'm working on my first book. It's a book of poetry.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. A little bit of philosophy in there too. But it's called She Calls Me Mr. Right. And the title's based on one of my poems that I wrote in about 2006. It's just basically going to be lyrics to my raps and poems. And in the back, like I have a small section on philosophy.
Okay.
And, I fancy myself a philosopher. And my tagline is, I think I know what I be talking about. Because things just make sense. And it's honest and modest at the same time,
I like it.
I don't proclaim to be, omniscient or anything like that.
Okay.
But, I think I know what I be talking about when it comes to certain things.
And so when can we expect for the book to go out? Do you have a definite date or time or around some kind of...
We're gonna say for sure the beginning of fall. So we'll say for sure September, but looking like August. And
okay.
So, yeah.
So you all make sure you get that. Make sure you support this man. So can we check out our cheesecake? Can we see it?
Yeah, we can. All right. So once we brought it out the oven, we had to make sure it chilled. It has to sit and chill.
Okay.
Excuse me, in the refrigerator
for
a while so that it can set and solidify and everything like that. She's like cutting me off like, I want to eat it now, okay,
right,
sir?
I'm like, okay, get to it. I got it.
She's like, yeah, sure.
I just want it.
It's my money and I need it now. No, I'm stopping. All right, so, and of course, for some some garnish, for lack of a better word, put some Oreo cookie on the top,
Okay.
Nice little container, and so. Yeah, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and. So we're gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. See, it fell off. We're gonna put this right. Bow.
Nice.
There you go. All right, so what you want to do is. So yes, these other.
So good. My nephew, this is Kennedy. He's 5 years old, and anytime he eats something, he has to smell it first.
Oh yeah, you gotta smell it.
I never did that before, but now that since I've been around him and I know he does it, I'm like, well, maybe that would really help me to appreciate, and take in everything if I smell it. So I'm like, oh, let me smell it first.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
It smells great.
I do that. I always smell what I'm getting ready to eat. Like it just makes sense to me.
Okay.
But it's funny. I can see like be in the middle of the conversation, like, oh, just tasting it. Like, yeah, it looks like it. Yes, looks amazing. Yeah, okay,
right. What if you don't right?
Yeah, because you be like, okay. You just gotta sneak it in every now and then.
Right, a little bit.
You're like at dinner. You're like, oh, this looks amazing. Okay.
Okay.
See what you want to do. Yeah. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Peel off the side right there, and then you can gangsta it. And then eat it like it's a cupcake. Or you can be like, lady-like, and then you can eat it with the fork. So that's why I put the fork there. So that's optional. If you're a thug with it.
I would not be eating with a fork if this camera was not in here.
That's real.
Like, no.
If you're a thug with it, then you know.
Right.
So. Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
it's all right.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, the Oreo cookie is the crust, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real like that.
Oh, okay.
You just keep on dropping it. Don't worry about it.
Right.
It's going the same place.
Same time?
He said same time. Okay, let's do some. We're gonna toast them. Boom. We just toasted cheesecake cupcakes. I let that boy bake. It's like I've been told they were life altering. Oh yeah.
Are you pleased?
Yes, I think I outdid myself this time. I might.
Really good. Really good. So. Where because you actually sell your baked goods, so tell them about how they can get them.
I do sell them, and I've had people ask me like, you ain't got no store or anything like that. So I sell them exclusively through Instagram. So I have an Instagram page that's Let That Boy Bake. That's LETTHATBOYBAKE. Almost messed that up. Let That Boy Bake. And what it is as I'm on tour, I got some other shows coming up, and I go into different cities. I find a friend and I rent out their kitchen. And then I get it cracking and do pop-up deliveries. And so I delivered a Homeboy Let Me Use the Kitchen when I was in D.C. Did some D.C. deliveries. And that's how it goes. And so eventually, once I get once I blow up Shuate, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to open up like different stores and things like that.
Okay.
So, but right now we're on the move with it. So,
okay.
Which keeps them exclusive because you can't have them all the time.
Right. I know you said I could give them to my friends, but I don't know if that's going to end up happening.
You got to share.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, they won't even know. So for She's Got a Show, I'm Akisha Lockhart. You know me. Who are you?
Real talk.
She's got a show. 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 She's got a show.